Hello guys, what is up? My name is Dylan. Welcome to the Popcorn Podcast if you're new. I hope everyone's doing great. In fact, first and foremost, I hope everyone's still breathing after those 9 episodes. I'm of course referring to the show that quite frankly, nobody can seem to get out of their heads. The show that is currently at the very top of pop culture conversation. The show that has boosted grilled calamari sales at restaurants all over the world. By the way, that was a joke, don't quote me on that. The show that is, if anything, demonstrated the true potential of word of mouth. And that show is Octopus Sport. Wait, hang on, that's not right. Squid Game. All jokes aside, guys, I actually really hate using this term when describing, new shows and new movies, but who am I kidding? Squid Game is without a doubt one of the most addictive series of television I have ever seen. The show is a lot of things, and thus a lot of reasons as to why so many people, including myself, have taken such a huge liking and become so fond of it. So I thought it'd be pretty fun to break down some of the show's most interesting aspects and just overall give my take on why I think Squid Game is just so fucking brilliant. Just before we do get started, guys, a huge spoiler warning is in effect. If you're currently not up to date with Squid Game, this video will include major plot points from the series, so please do go and watch the entire 9 episodes and come back to this video at a later time. I also want to quickly apologize in advance if I mispronounce any names, but I'll give it my best shot. So without further ado, guys, let's begin. What's actually interesting about Squid Game, purely on a basic level, is that despite the huge success it is experiencing all over the world, the main premise of the show isn't one that's entirely that new. Not to say that it's completely devoid of original ideas, because that simply wouldn't be true, but the script does follow a formula that has been tried and tested over the years. Most of you will of course be familiar with Suzanne Collins's The Hunger Games, but even fewer of you will know of Kaoshun Takami's Battle Royale. And no, I'm not talking about Fortnite Battle Royale, I'm referring to the Japanese novel turned movie Battle Royale, which by the way I highly recommend. Squid Game certainly isn't discreet about using a number of familiar tropes from, those deadly competition type films of the past, but what aspects make it stand out in this particular subgenre? Why is Squid Game so damn investing for us as an audience? Well, first off, the pacing for the show is for the most part perfect. The premise is simple enough. Hundreds of people, all of which live with oppressive levels of debt, participate in a series of 6 games. Variations of Korean childhood favourites, but ones that come with devastating consequences. The show's 9-episode structure revolves meticulously around these 6 deadly games, but is tied together by a script that never loses its focus on the psychological grip it has on its characters, much like a squid wrapping its tentacles around its prey. Squid Game seamlessly blends together a multitude of genres and tones, and in doing so takes many different shapes. On one hand, it's a psychological horror, and on another, a riveting story of survival. It's a deep dive into dark social satire territory, providing a harsh critique on society's economic inequalities, but at the same time, it's a surprisingly touching tale of family, friendship, and tragedy. It for sure delivers on the characters and the emotions, but before we get to that, Squid Game is firstly a mighty fine piece of entertainment, and a lot of credit has to be attributed not just to the games themselves, but more importantly how the games create suspense and invoke tension. Sure, there are certain aspects here and there that are, predictable, but they're predictable in the good sense as they deliver on our expectations. I think the use of these particular 6 games is straight up genius and features some of the most inventive set pieces I've seen in quite some time. No 2 of them ever feel the same. Some games rely on teamwork, whereas, others require independence. Some games demand skill and physical strength, whilst others take an incredible amount of luck to win. The games for sure test our characters, but maybe more importantly, they challenge us as the audience to really think about what we do in these scenarios. Would you keep your nerve and, stay in the game, or would you let fear overcome you and offer yourself up like lambs for slaughter? Would you play fair, or would you make your own luck? Would you be truthful with your comrades, or would you try and deceive them? Would you honorably give up, or would you do everything it took to win? This immersive quality is only made more prominent by the filmmaking behind the show. Director and creator of Squid Game, Dong-hyuk's visual approach is fascinating to say the least. The costume design is fantastic and has instantly become iconic. In fact, let's just say it now, I already know what I'm going to be wearing to Halloween parties this year. The status of the characters is very much reflected through the strong contrast between the costume colours, with the green for the players and red for the workers. The visual contrast doesn't just end with the costume design though. There's actually something very video game-esque about the way the show designs and creates its environments. The games are painted as vibrant and surreal, capturing childlike atmospheres with pastel-coloured stairways connecting them all. The stairways use exaggerated shapes and sizes and evoke a pixel-like quality. But at the same time, this world of the game is very much juxtaposed against the grey, the gloomy and bleak streets of Seoul, the real world. And as a result, there's this feeling that the players have almost made this journey into another realm of sorts, a fantasy if you like. That is the conceptual brilliance of Squid Game. For me personally though, what really makes the show work, what really drives the story, what really makes Squid Game such a compelling piece of cinema is its approach to characterization. The show offers a range of diverse but intricate characters, each with their own individual flaws, but all of whom we can understand and connect with, regardless of whether or not we've ever experienced any of their life predicaments. When we first meet Gi-hun, number 456, he's a divorced father, a gambler, a degenerate, and despite all these flaws, it's actor Lee Jung-jae's performance that makes Gi-hun number 456 irresistibly likable and impossible not to get attached to. The superb performances from the main cast heighten every moment of drama and tension. The characters undergo enormous amounts of trauma, and all actors rise to the challenge of portraying raw, real, believable emotions in the most unbelievable of situations. The games might reveal the true nature of the characters, but it's the moments spent in between where we're really allowed to build the connections with them. But you know what, don't even take my word for it. All the proof anyone needs is right here in episode 6 of the series. The episode that, quite frankly, I don't know about you guys, but this episode ripped my heart into a million pieces. To not just lose one character that you care about, but 3 of them in such shocking and painful and tragic ways, that's just fucking cruel. But nevertheless, I say this episode alone stands as a true testament to the show's brilliant writing and approach to its characters. What follows is more thrills and more revelations, definitely more heartbreak, but ultimately more finality. Not complete finality though, but finality that closes the door on the story it originally set out to tell, whilst opening a completely new one. In addition to all the things that I've discussed, I think Squid Game just proves how universal stories can be. You know, how they can transcend geographical distance, as well as cultural and language barriers, especially the stories that explore what make us human. The worst aspects for sure, but also some of the best. The toughest points in our lives, but also the moments of triumph. The sadness that comes with losing family, but also the happiness that comes with finding new ones. Guys, thank you so much for sticking to the end of the video. Those are some of my overall thoughts on Squid Game, and now I'd love to hear some of yours. Comment down below which of the 6 games was your favourite. Also, which character did you find yourself attaching to the most? What are your feelings on the show's final episode and conclusion? let me know, and of course do consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed the video and do want to see more. I've made video essays on a few other shows including The Boys, The Queen's Gambit, as well as Breaking Bad, so be sure to check those out. I'll leave a link to them down in the description below, as well as a playlist where you can find all of my video essays. Once again guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. I hope everyone has an awesome week, and I'll catch you again very soon. Peace.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars.